Hello, Scorpio. So here is your reading. These are general, take what works, but we're going to see what kind of is in your energy right now. But you are the master of your own destiny. But let's see what the cards have to say for you guys. So, in regards to what this reading is about, you have Temperance. In your current energies, you have the Ace of Cups. In your near future, you have the Five of Pentacles. Your challenge for this situation is the Knight of Cups reversed, and what is recommended for you is the Magician. So whatever this situation represents, it is something that I believe it's something that's going to take it's like a longer term situation. Temperance is about kind of moderation. It's about having balance. It's about potentially taking the middle road of something. But it also could be about having a long-term goal or long-term vision or long-term dreams that are not going to happen overnight, but it's something that you are aware it's not going to happen overnight and it's going to take some time. So whatever is going on right now, this is a situation in your life that you're kind of having to even merge multiple things together. It could be that you have maybe different skills or capabilities, and you're at the point now where you're trying to combine them to create something a little bit better or make something flow a little smoother. So, and you might even, this could represent for some of you that you're the peacekeeper in a situation. Maybe you have like family members or friends that are a little bit spicy, a little more oil and water type of energy, and you might be having to be the peacekeeper in that situation. And it could represent that they might always be spicy. They're just spicy kind of people, a little feisty energy going on with them. And there might have been some type of conflict and it could be conflicts as, family members. Sometimes people don't always change. Sometimes there's conflicts all the time, but you've had to take this middle road of kind of trying to moderate the situation, I don't want to say being the babysitter, but trying to kind of get people to come back together again. And, so you take this for what this represents for you, but that's what kind of the Temperance energy stands for. Now, in your current energies, you have the Ace of Cups, which is all about kind of a stirring of emotions. It's something new, but it hits you in the feels. It's about emotion, love. This could be maybe a new relationship for some of you, or it could indicate that there's a new aspect within your life right now that kind of hits you in the feels, that you're a little excited about. You might be leading with your heart a little bit, or something is kind of hitting you in the heart area where you're kind of excited, it's new, so sometimes new things are kind of exciting things. It could be a fresh situation, so maybe even in your mind you're like, oh, the possibilities could be endless in a way. Because I know sometimes when I try something new and it kind of hits me in the feels, I have like, oh, the possibilities are endless and I love being in that energy. But when you start actually doing the situation or getting involved in it, then you start seeing the limitations and the restrictions or the problems or whatever. But this is always like a nice little fresh, youthful energy to be in, because at this stage, like, everything is perfect. So something hits you in the feels a little bit. Something is a little bit of exciting to you. This could represent like a new friendship or a new situation in your life that you're kind of excited about. But what's coming in for you is the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles, it could be about feeling financial restrictions. I oftentimes get this when even though maybe I'm not experiencing the financial restrictions, I feel like I have restrictions or something with the finances. It could be just even you feeling that you're out in the cold in some aspect of your life. Like something is not gelling right. It could be finances, but sometimes I get this even when it's more of like on an emotional level for me. If I feel like things are not kind of going quite right, I don't want to say left out of a situation, because it's not like I'm left out, but it just seems like maybe I feel more alone in certain aspects, and I feel like I don't have anybody to kind of turn to or talk to about things, or I don't feel like I'm getting kind of, I don't want to say help or clarification, but sometimes I do this to myself personally. I get in these modes or these zones. So this could be that maybe you are feeling a little bit, or coming soon, you might be feeling a little bit more financially restricted in some area. And that could be because maybe you're embarking on a new project or a new hobby or new something that you're kind of pouring some of the finances into. Or it could just even be that with whatever this temperance represents, sometimes when you're the peacekeeper or you're trying to merge or blend things together, sometimes you're kind of the only one doing that, you know? Like, for instance, let's take the example with the family. If you have family members that are all pissy with each other and you're trying to be the peacekeeper, then they might start getting pissy at you because you're not taking one side or the other. Or maybe you're at a point where you're now, I don't want to say a little fed up of being the peacekeeper, but you might be now embarking on something a little bit different, something that you find enjoyable for you, and maybe people are kind of not quite, I don't want to say not quite on board, but you might be feeling a little alone in it in a sense, whereas you might be wanting somebody to, I don't want to say have your back, but I don't know how to explain what I'm kind of getting here. You might feel like you can't share whatever this represents, this Ace of Cups moment, with others for whatever reason that could be. I think that's what I'm kind of getting here. Now, with the Knight of Cups here in reverse, this could indicate that you're being a little bit unrealistic with certain aspects. I'm wondering if, because this is your challenge, if with the Five of Pentacles, maybe you're feeling kind of isolated, alone, maybe financially restricted. You're kind of in this mood of, I don't want to say, oh, woe is me, but it could be that kind of mood. I wonder if you're being a little unrealistic with that, or you're not really. There might be somebody around that's willing to help you or could help you, but you're not really letting them in. You're kind of choosing to do this alone a little bit, or you're not sharing your ideas. You could be moody. You can be having, I don't even want to say feelings of jealousy towards others, because I don't necessarily feel that's what's going on, but I just feel like with this Five of Pentacles energy, you might be a little bit feeling like maybe other people are not fully supporting you like you've maybe supported them, because the Temperance energy, this is like a major arcana, and I wonder if some of you were really the peacekeepers in a situation, and now when you feel like you need somebody, because this could be peacekeeping, but this also could be, I see this card as also somebody that's very, in a way, balanced, and if a friend or somebody needs help or advice, they're willing to kind of give the person the positives, or maybe they're willing to give very nice constructive criticism, but in a way where it's not hurting the person's feelings, but in a way that it's actually really coming from a good place and you want to help the person. So I wonder if some of you might be, with this Ace of Cups, whatever you're kind of desiring, going through a period of trying to figure that out or exploring it, and you feel like you might not be getting, I don't want to say the constructive criticism back, but you might not be getting kind of the things that you've shared with others. You might not actually be getting that kind of back, whereas you might feel like you deserve it. And I think this Knight of Cups, you could be in a zone of, being moody, kind of just not satisfied, having unrealistic expectations. And you could even have, like, I don't want to say your imagination could be getting the best of you a little bit, but your imagination might be running away into areas where it may not be the most productive to go. But what's recommended for you with the Magician here is saying that you got everything you need. Whatever this Ace of Cups is for you, whatever this Temperance situation is, like, you have everything, because Temperance is also about merging multiple things together. This person, in my eyes, is like a really great cocktail, or like a bartender or cocktail waitress or whatever, like whatever you want to call it. This person's making like the best drinks out there. They're merging all these kind of pieces together. They're making the best drinks. So that's kind of how I view the Temperance a little bit in a way. But the Magician, he's a person of having multiple aspects and actually blending them again together as well. So he has multiple components, and he's a little bit of a showman. I see him as a showman. So he's putting on a show. But with the Magician, the way I interpret him or envision him, he's putting on a show. And he does it in front of people. He's a little bit more out there, I would say, with his energy. And not every show is going to be perfect. Sometimes the things are going to screw up or whatever. But he kind of rolls with the punches, and he's quick on his feet. I see him as a person as being not going to let things get him down and not going to stop and wallow in misery. He's going to be like, okay, well, the rabbit didn't come out the hat this time, but that's fine, because, I'm going to make a joke out of it, and I'm going to just, I don't know, do something with it, make it funny. So I think this is saying that if you're experiencing this Five of Pentacles as kind of feeling isolated a little bit, because the Five of Pentacles also represents that there is help around you. These people traditionally are walking in front of a church. So the church represents, that they could go in and they could find warmth, because on this card, traditionally they're out in the cold, or they're kind of dealing with their problems by themselves. They're out in the cold. It's like not a very pleasant thing. So they really could go find comfort somewhere. So there might be comfort or something around you willing to help you or able to help you. But because of the Knight of Cups in reverse, I wonder if you're just not really seeing it, if you're being a little bit in your feels a little bit, but not in a good type of feels. You're a little bit, I don't know. Sometimes, we have these moments. We're just kind of like pissy a little bit. You might be a little pissy, Scorpios. You might be feeling a little pissy. But the Magician here is saying that you have all the components that you need with whatever this new emotional endeavor, whatever this represents for you. I think you just need to kind of get back to your roots with the Temperance. Because like I said before, the Temperance, whatever this situation represents kind of having to take the middle ground, blend things together, merge things to create something different. And I think you need to remind yourself that you've been doing it, you're capable of doing it, and you really have all the tools right now to do that. So, and I think if you feel like you're being financially restricted or restricted in a certain way, I really think this is saying that you're not actually restricted. There's certain things around you that could potentially be helping you. Sometimes we don't see these things because we're too close to the problem. But if you could take a bird's eye view, you might see a resource that actually can help you through this. So let's see what else we get for you guys. Okay, so first up we have Stag Spirit, take the lead. And I feel like, now here's with the Temperance, I feel like it's funny because I feel like the Temperance energy and the Magician are very similar, except I think the Magician is really about having to take the lead, because the way I see him, he's a little bit up on the stage, or he's doing things, he's figuring out, but he's not scared to take the lead. Where the Temperance, about moderation, sometimes it's almost like you don't want to ruffle the feathers, like you're not in control. You might have some control, but you're choosing maybe not to be as combative as you may need to be. So I wonder for some of you, if whatever situation, when you hit up against this Five of Pentacles and this Knight of Cups in reverse, if maybe whatever situation you've been kind of almost like taking the middle ground as to not ruffle the feathers or not make too many waves in the water or whatever, I wonder if it's at a point now where you might have to kind of, I don't want to say stand up a little bit more, but you might have to kind of start standing your ground a little bit more. And even with the Five of Pentacles, because these people are out in the cold, they're walking by a church, so they would need to take the lead and actually go into the church and maybe stay there the night to get warm and everything. So that would be them kind of not allowing their circumstances to dictate how their life is going to go in the future, but them actually stand up and be like, I am the master of my own destiny. I am walking into this church. I'm going to be polite. I'm going to ask whoever's there if like we could hang out a little bit, if there's like some kind of resources, maybe we could wash some dishes or whatever, make somebody some food or something, and just, see from there, see what happens from there. So I definitely think, and because the Knight of Cups in reverse, I would see him as being so moody and so in his feels that he might be not really taking the action that he needs. He could be like very emotional, and I just think that you need to potentially, with whatever this Ace of Cups, this new emotional thing going on for you. You might need to be a little bit more in the driver's seat with it going forward. But now you have Solidite, speak your truth. And I wonder if for some of you, honestly, this Temperance, some of you may have been taking the middle ground in a situation, and maybe something's come up regarding your feels, and you might have to say something. You know what they say, see something, say something. So some of you, it might be almost like there might be a situation coming up that's kind of exciting to you, or you want to do or embark on or try or whatever it is. But for whatever reason, you're feeling like you can't, you feel like you're stuck, you're miserable, and then you're a little bit like in this Knight of Cups energy, not really going anywhere, not really pursuing your emotions, not really pursuing your dreams. Because the Knights, they're men on a mission. They are on a mission for whatever they're doing, and this guy's on a mission of love and a mission of his emotions. But in the reversed, he's not going anywhere. He's just miserable. He's crying in a corner, in a dark corner, by himself, with nothing around him, not even furniture. That's how in despair this man is. He's just huddled in a dark corner somewhere with nothing. Miserable. And he's doing it to himself. So I wonder, and especially with the Magician here, saying that you have everything you need to kind of take the lead, speak your truth, and resolve whatever situation this might represent for you. Now, we get to this card. Okay, it says, stabbed in the back. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. So, we are here. Now, I wonder if for some of you, this Ace of Cups, you could have found something out that you're not very happy about. It could be that there's some type of thing that you want to embark on or do, but maybe you feel like somebody with this Five of Pentacles, maybe somebody's kind of, I don't want to say being a little shady. Shady people around everywhere, though. Sometimes people are just shady. But you might feel a little stabbed in the back, and that's kind of spurring this Five of Pentacles, feeling that you're isolated, you're just out in the cold, you're not really connected to others, or that you don't really know how to proceed forward, and this Knight of Cups of just crying in a dark corner somewhere by yourself. So, and this could be because the Temperance, I feel like the Temperance is a really good card. I feel like the energy, at least how I interpret or see the Temperance card or energy, is of a person that genuinely wants people to be in harmony, genuinely wants people to kind of either get along, or situations, you know, is taking almost the high road in a way. It's not so much about themselves and their ego or their desires. It's almost about the greater good. So if this represents a situation where you've been a little bit acting above your own desires, or you've been trying to blend certain things together in a very harmonious way and very honorable way, you might have found something out, or you're feeling currently that, you know, you have other people's backs in a sense. You've been trying to help them or be there for them, but now, you know, there's funny business going on, and now you're a little bit upset. So, yes. Now, we have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. And now, that could go be from the Ace of Cups as well. This could represent someone or even something. Sometimes it could be something. Maybe there was something in the past that you wanted to always do and you tried it, and maybe it didn't really go well, or you just didn't have the time to allocate towards it, and now you're deciding to start it up again, and maybe some people are not quite on board with you, or seeing, you know, or not really sharing in your enthusiasm. But it could be someone from the past also is returning, and that's what may be spurring this Ace of Cups, if it's a friendship or a romantic ship or whatever. So take that how that is. Now, or you know what I wonder? I wonder if we put these two together. Let's say we put all these things together. Here we go. We're going to put these four together. I wonder if potentially somebody could have stabbed you in the back. This could be a situation where you really were, I want to say, taking the high road or trying to be the bigger person in a situation with the Temperance. Then maybe somebody's coming back from the past, then they had stabbed you in the back, and they're trying to maybe give you the cup of love or trying to apologize to you. But for whatever reason, you might be having a little bit of mixed feelings about this. Maybe you feel in a way that you should just accept the apology, but for whatever reason, you're really upset about the situation, but you don't want to speak up and say that you're upset. And it could be kind of giving you in between these things. But I would say then you need to speak the truth, take the lead in the situation, and you have everything that you need, because you might be a type of person that doesn't want to create problems or create more drama. But sometimes people like really mess up, and you can, I don't want to say forgive them, but sometimes you have to forgive somebody for yourself, but you don't have to forget. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people really mess up, and sometimes for their well-being, they need to kind of apologize, and you can accept the apology, and for however it makes you kind of settle it within yourself, but you don't have to forget, and you don't have to be their best friend again either. And I think this magician is here saying that you have everything you need to either resolve this situation or handle this situation. Because I wonder with the Five of Pentacles, if this resonates for someone out there, I wonder if you're feeling a little bit like, almost like you don't know how to proceed forward, you know? And it's kind of causing you this like little moodiness. You could be really upset about the situation, or you could be trying to even suppress your feelings, like pretend everything's okay, and it's causing you this inner conflict with the Five of Pentacles of feeling like a little isolated or whatever. But you're going to know what's best for you in that situation. So you always have to trust yourself. You know yourself better than anybody else. Now we have solar plexus chakra, manifestation. Manifestation is the fruition of confidence and belief. And I think because you have, what do we have here? We have take the lead, speak your truth. The magician here, this is all about confidence and belief. So I just think this is reaffirming with the magician that you have everything that you need right now to kind of push this forward or see this through to the end or reach some type of satisfactory resolution for yourself. Then you have outer space. Take time to heal, grow, and expand. Now, if somebody did stab you in the back and there is some kind of reconciliation going on, maybe somebody's sending you an apology or whatever, but I think taking the lead could also indicate that you might have to kind of have the conversation with the person, or even sometimes you have to have conversations with yourself. But I think with this Five of Pentacles, they're very constricted. They feel very small. They feel like they're in a cramped, tight space. And the Knight of Cups here is crying in the corner. So he's in a cramped, tight space as well. But I think this is a little bit of, it's recommended to almost like get out of that. If you are going through this, get out of that space. You have to kind of, the magician, the world is his oyster in a way. Like I see him as a very optimistic person. I see him as a realistic person as well. I think he is aware of his capabilities and potential shortcomings, but I think he's a person that's willing to kind of try and play around with something. So I think don't allow whatever this Ace of Cups is, don't allow it to just make you feel, or whatever this situation represents for you, don't allow it just to make you feel boxed in. You need to kind of, even if you need a minute, sometimes we need a minute to digest something. Depending on what this Ace of Cups is, you might need a minute to digest it. It could be something that you need to heal, grow, and expand from. But I definitely think that you don't want to let yourself be confined. Like, you have everything you need to kind of create the items or the things that you want out of your life or out of this situation. Now, you have raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. And then you also have, if you don't fight for what you want, don't cry for what you've lost. Now, some of you, really, I'm not saying there's conflict ahead of you guys. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that this is about conflict. All I'm saying is that we have a lot of cards here about some potential conflict. So we have to explore this situation further. Now, definitely, if this Ace of Cups for you is something that is a little bit emotional, I think as you're dealing with it, because this temperance person is not going to raise their voice. They're very, very middle of the road. So maybe it is also advisable still to stay within this energy of this. But if you need to kind of take a little bit firmer stance on something, I think you need to take the firmer stance. Don't let people push you around. And then we have, if you didn't fight for what you want, don't cry for what you've lost. Some of you might need to stand up for yourselves. Like the Magician, he's standing up. He's standing up for himself, you know? And even the Temperance, they're actively involved in it. You know, they're not quite the aggressor, but they're actively kind of involved in, they're like the referee. They're trying to get the game to go, but they're not like, you know, going for the touchdown. They're just trying to make sure nobody's doing any illegal penalties or something. And then we have acceptance, better. Okay, let me read this again. Acceptance, better watch out. I'm coming for it next. Oh. Inner peace is my bitch. I love it. And some of you, I feel like with this Five of Pentacles and this Knight of Cups who's crying in the corner, I feel like you need to be like, you got to have this energy. So acceptance, better watch out. I'm coming for it next. Now, I wonder if some of you, if somebody who did screw you over might be trying to get either an apology or there's some new situation with it. And I think with the speaking your truth, taking the lead, taking time to heal, grow, and expand, and raising your words, not your voice, but stabbed in the back, I just think that, like, and the reconciliation, I just think that I really wonder if some of you are kind of, if this is regarding maybe somebody in your life a little bit more, or a situation in your life a little bit more where you feel you have not been treated quite fairly. But I think that at the end of the day, inner peace is your bitch. And if somebody's trying to ruffle the feathers, I don't think you need to go fighting at them or to war with them, but I think that you need to continue with this balanced approach, but a firm balance. Like, kind of stand your ground a little bit, be the bigger person, but don't allow them or this situation to make you feel that you're out of control, because the Magician, he's in control. He's in control. He's going to try different things. So, but the Five of Pentacles is a feeling of like not being in control, and the Knight of Cups, he's just crying in the corner. So he's not even in control of anything. At least these people are walking. This guy is just, anyway. So for Bob Ross, we have, there's nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. And I think this is saying, maybe take a walk in nature if something is a little bit like this guy. This Knight of Cups really needs to go walk in nature. The Five of Pentacles, they're walking in a little bit too much nature right now. They're walking in the snow, so they really need to go inside. So I wouldn't recommend the Five of Pentacles walk or having a Five of Pentacles tree, because they're in the cold, they're in the snow, so they need to go inside. But the Knight of Cups, he probably would do good with just getting outside and taking a walk and making a friend tree, because I feel like of all the suits, I feel like the Cups cards would be making friends with trees. They just seem like those type of people that would just be besties with the trees or whatever. But I think this is saying that if you're feeling alone and you're feeling maybe alone with the Five of Pentacles, that I'm sure you have something around you that's your little buddy, whether it's your fish, you might have a favorite plant, maybe you have a plant outside that you notice is blooming or doing some plant thing. Just pay attention to the little details. And sometimes I like watching the birds because they're kind of funny. They have all this bird drama going on and I kind of enjoy it. But I see them as my neighbors. Like, there's this raccoon that lives close to me. There's a bunch of raccoons, but there's one specific one that he kind of always just, you know, I say hi to him and he stops and he looks at me and everything. We have like a connection. We got a good thing going. So he's my little neighbor. But I think this is saying that you have people that support you around you, even if they're not necessarily like people. You have things around you that are supporting you. And you also have, for your little affirmation card, you have, today I am focused. Today I will be productive and feel good about doing the hard work that I need to do. And I think this is just you staying focused, you staying determined, and stay on your path. Whatever you're trying to work on, just stay diligent with it. Now, for your little stress relief and self-care card, you have breathing space, objective, mindful breathing practice. Get comfortable and close your eyes. Set aside at least 1 or 2 minutes for this exercise. Set your timer and focus solely on your breathing. Notice how the air feels as it enters your nose and how your chest feels as it slowly expands. Hold the breath for a moment and then slowly release it through pursed lips. Count to 1 every time you inhale and count to 2 every time you exhale, and keep repeating. Counting helps focus the mind. Notice how much calmer you feel after only a short mindful breathing practice. And it's funny because you also have here with the Today I Am Focused. So I think this is definitely another card that's just saying that, you know, you need to just stay focused through this. I think you're going to get through this fine, but you just need to stay. Because the Temperance is, to me, a card of being very focused. See, the Magician, I think that this guy is playing around. I think he is definitely focused, but I think because he's a little showman, he has a lot going on at one moment, so he could be a little bit, I'm going to say distracted, but he's kind of focused on what he's doing, but he's also focused on kind of, as I see him, as putting on a show in a sense. Like, he's not just focused on his work, he's also focused on a bigger picture. I think that's how I should say it. He's focused on multiple levels of the situation. But Temperance, to me, is really, I don't want to say tunnel visioned on the focus of their work or what they're trying to work on. So I think this is, to me, this being focused would be more maybe going with the Temperance energy, because I think that whatever situation this is, I think that you just need to kind of be paying attention also to what is around you, because the Magician, he's paying attention to what's around you. And because that's recommended, because the Five of Pentacles is not paying attention to what's around them. There's the church around them. They're not seeing it. They're just continuing to walk right by this warm church and stay out in the cold with no shoes. And the Knight of Cups, he's just in a dark corner. He's just, yeah, we're going to just let him be. We don't want to disturb him. Now, for your food fortune, the spirit of the dish that shall be with you during this period of time will be the Page of Sweets, which is the cupcake. Now, for the dinner and a movie, you have Italian food and action films. For the energies that you need to either tap into or be aware of is you have Cancers, and this is all about emotions and habits. And you also have Taurus, and they are a very stable sign. It's about love, money, and powers of attraction, but they're very persistent. Like, they're not getting shifted easily. Like, they're very, very, I don't want to say strong, but they're just like the bull. You're not moving that thing. If it doesn't want to move, it's just not going anywhere. So you might need to be a little stubborn. That's what I'm going here. Now, you have the Moon, which represents your emotions and habits as well. But sometimes the Moon is about things that are a little bit hidden. And now you also have the Sun, which is about ego, individuality, and confidence. So you might need to have confidence, but I feel like the Sun is here shining some light on this situation. You also have the 6th house, which represents health, detail, order, work, and structure. And then you have the 12th house, which is about occult, psychic abilities, and the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind could be going with this Knight of Cups in reverse, because sometimes, even the Five of Pentacles, because sometimes, like, I don't want to say our shadow self, or darker aspects of us, or bad habits, mentally bad habits, could cause this. You also have number 4, which is an even number, so that means the special guest that'll be answering your questions today, Scorpio, will be Mr. Predicto. Think of those questions. He'll be out here shortly. Okay, so we have D, O, F, R, Y, K, W, and then we have 18392. Oh, okay, so 2 jumped out. So now you have a little seahorse. And you also have the unicorn. First up, the unicorn is kind of, to me, about a dream that could be brought into reality. It's about kind of, to me, this is the way I see it, especially for this reading. Because this is a horse, and the only things that makes him different than like a regular horse is he has another appendage, which is this horn here. But it's kind of like having a dream or something that is reality. It just needs to maybe have a few extra little pieces put to it to kind of create it or have it fully be reality. So I think this is saying that I don't think you're far off. Whatever kind of the end goal with this situation is, whatever that may be, I don't think it's something that's completely out of reach. I think it's just maybe you think it's a little bit larger than what it is, but it just might need an extra appendage or something. Like, I don't think it's something that's so insane. Like, I don't think it's something so out of reach for this realm of reality we live in to achieve. So that's something, but I think this is also saying whatever this Ace of Cups might represent for you, if it's a dream or a new beginning of some kind of emotional thing or whatever this represents, even if this is just some type of peace or inner peace or whatever this is, I don't think it's far off. I think it's definitely tangible. And now the seahorse, to me, because these guys are like swimming, right? But they're as fish or as seahorses, as whatever ocean animal, they can move in multiple directions. Like, we can only kind of move, within, if we're not in a plane or whatever, kind of on the ground. But these guys, they could just swim all over. So I feel like you might have to be a little bit more flexible in your approach. You might have to, I don't want to say swim all over this situation, but see things from a different angle, because this guy is able to kind of swim up, swim down, swim all around, and he's able to see aspects in a little bit of a different angle, or he's able to see all the angles of everything. So you might have to be able to kind of be a little bit more flexible in your approach to whatever this is, especially because you have the Magician. So the Magician, to me, he's a little bit outside the box thinker as well. He has to be creative with what he has. Okay, now that I'm just dropping everything on the floor, we have wealth. Now, this could represent financial wealth. This could represent any type of wealth for you. Sometimes even your emotions could symbolize kind of, you could have a wealth or abundance of emotion. So whatever this represents for you, there could be something to do with wealth, what happiness, wealth, whatever kind of wealth this is. And I think this could also be saying that even with the Five of Pentacles, if you're feeling this kind of, non-abundance, you're feeling a little stuck, I think this is saying that there's other aspects or other avenues available to you, that you have a wealth of opportunities or a wealth of help potentially, that you just need to see it. Okay, now it is time. Here he is. Okay, Scorpios, think of your question. Oh, Mr. Predicto, the most accurate prediction device to ever run off of batteries. What is the answer to Scorpio's question?
Ask later when the time is right.
Oh, the drama. He said, ask later when the time is right. So, whatever this is, there might be still things up in the air, or whatever your question is, maybe it will not be quite the question that will be in the near future. So, or he just could just not be, who knows? This guy, who knows with these celebrities. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, month, week, year, lifetime, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.